Okay, good evening. I'd like to call to order this special meeting of the Governing Board of the Cave Creek Unified School District. Today is Tuesday, August 18th, 2020. Roll call, the 5 members of the board are present. And item 1.3, formal adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve as presented. Member Brown,
Aye.
Busby,
Aye.
Hatcher,
Aye.
I'm aye. Rich.
Aye.
Okay, if you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have no presentations or new business. Item 4.1, approval of advertising document presented by, well, myself, but also Mr. Highland. So the background is we're going to go over this. This was something that we did a lot of work on, and then we asked Mr. Highland to come back and add, I think it was 4 items at the bottom, and just to fill in budgetary and stuff like that. So Mr. Highland, would you like to take that? Oh, you're muted.
Am I live now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I did go back and made changes in the document as per what I heard at the last meeting. There we go. And I think I've done that. You have a copy of it. It is not substantially different, but there are a number of things that I added. I'd like to start with the beginning. I didn't have an opportunity. I mentioned to you at the first time we met that I would be keeping you in contact with me in regards to any questions and such that came in. Reason I didn't get back to you is because I had 2 questions come in today. One not that long ago, and I didn't have a chance to send those in to Julie. So I just mentioned to you that one of the board members noted on the first page, 2nd paragraph, East Valley Institute wasn't capitalized. We missed that as many times as we went over it. So that's been changed already, but not on your document. Another question that was posed is, why is district not always capitalized? You can see in the beginning of the 2nd paragraph under Unified School District Profile, it says the district. Obviously it's specific to you. Later on at the end, it talks about education classes of member districts. That is generic. So there is a difference between the generic and the specific when it comes to the word district. I will tell you that even if the board approves this tonight, I will go through it one more time just to make sure that everything is consistent grammatically and we haven't missed anything else. There was one other time about 4 pages back where we wrote the word seek, and it should have been seeks. It should have had an S on the end. So I appreciated that board member contacting me. So those things have been done. Other than that, the first page, I added some things under the profile that has to do with the district itself, taking from you some input that you provided, mentioning the bullet points there that were provided also with the fine arts program, performing arts, dual enrollment, special ed, gifted, and athletics. On the 2nd page, I changed that around. There was lengthy discussion. I also added the Cave Creek Unified School District Governing Board and put all your names on it. That's relatively consistent with what we've done in the past. We didn't talk about it, but I thought I would put it down there because we do go into vision and a mission statement. Then the governing board believes that's all right, consistent with what you have, if I'm not mistaken. On the next page, a little bit more work on the Cave Creek District communities, made a few more comments, and your CFO provided all of the data below under the district operational information, a lot of good information. Superintendents to be like to see this because they like to see what they're dealing with, especially if they're have a heavy bond or other obligations that they are going to have to work with. You don't have anything that creates, at least in my mind, any concern, but it's great information that was provided by your staff, your CFO in specific. Position requirements, I took what you told me, I modified that greatly from what you said. You can see that under the position requirements, we have preferred when it comes to items 4 and 5, experience as a superintendent, district level preferred, and hold a current superintendent Arizona certificate preferred. That was part of the discussion. And then I also modified the 5 bullets, kept it to the minimum, as you mentioned, and tried to stay focused on the areas that we talked about. One of the questions that came in from a board member had to do on the next page with the timeline. The timeline is consistent with what you talked about at the last meeting. However, I mentioned then and I'll mention now, timelines have to be fluid. They have to be able to move. And as it says right on the document, the dates may be adjusted as determined by the governing board and ASBA. One of the questions I had was, is this enough time? Are we moving too fast? The board had discussed that at the last meeting, and I believe the majority, well, I know the majority of the board agreed that these would be the basic timeline. If you want to rediscuss that tonight, you certainly have the opportunity and the right to do so. With that, that's a very brief and quick overview. You've had the document. I think now I'd turn it back to you to have discussion amongst the board. Is it what you believe you told me? Does it represent what you wanted? If not, we can adjust it at this time. If it is what you wanted, then you can agree that it moves forward. Madam President.
Well, I guess, I mean, what we have is a suggestion because it's gone over, we've added the stuff that we asked Mr. Highland to add, which was adjust the 5 bullet points and adjust the things. He's made the adjustments that we asked for. So I would submit that the recommendation is we approve the advertisement as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I do, and let me preface this by offering an apology. I've been out of town since last Wednesday morning, and I didn't get home until late last night. And so I was not able to send my commentary to you, Mr. Highland, because of the logistics. I really didn't have computer access. But one of the things that the text itself, the message that's being conveyed, I think is great. There's like grammatical stuff that needs to be cleaned up. We are a school district, so, you know, like the commas and the periods, and there's a couple of places where sentences need to be divided up because they're kind of long. And you know, I can send those to you. I can point it out now and tell you what I kind of picked out of this. That's your call.
I think the whole board needs to hear that information. So
Okay.
why don't you just start with the first page and tell me if there was something.
Okay. Under the Cave Creek Unified School District profile, that first sentence really should be broken into 2 sentences. The Cave Creek Unified School District is located 33 miles north of Central Phoenix, period. And then take out and then start, you know, the district serves the towns of Cave Creek, Care Freight, and Master Plan Community of Rio Verde, but you've got commas on either side of and. The second comma, you probably take that out. And then the sentence that starts with the district has a student population of 5,200. It's a good message. I think it reads a little awkward. A suggestion that I might offer is the district offers 1 high school, 1 middle school, 5 elementary schools, and the Academy of Excellence, an Arizona K-12 online instruction school for its 5,200 students.
Let me just comment on that. On the first sentence, it's a stylistic thing. If the board would rather, I take out the word and make that 2 sentences. I certainly can. The comma after the and is also stylistic. It's something I use a lot. It is appropriate, but if you are not as a board, and it's not as common as not having it there, but it does set it off. And I can take that out also if you wanted. I can certainly reword the 5,200 students. Up to the board. Discussion by the board in regards to those items in that first paragraph.
I'm fine with it as it is. I think the way that first sentence reads flows. It flows and it flows naturally. So the wording to me is fine.
Any other comments?
I'm good with it the way it is. This is Rich.
I'm fine with the way it is. Scott?
Yeah, it works for our purposes. I'm also not familiar with the double comma around the word and, but if that's something that Steve has used, that's fine.
Okay, then let's keep going.
The first sentence in the second paragraph is in passive voice, which isn't consistent with the rest of the text. So
I didn't catch that.
the first sentence in the second paragraph, the district is noted for its strong commitment to the students served in its 7 outstanding schools. That sentence, it's a passive voice, whereas the rest of the text is not passive voice. And also we have 8 schools, not 7, because we have the online academy.
Okay. Let's
I
start.
agree with the 8, but I mean, are we really trying to go into past? There's nothing wrong with having a passive sentence.
Well, there's not, but one of the things that has gone through my mind regarding this is a school district and we're advertising for the chief officer of the district. And, you know, since our business is education, it seems that we should make sure our documents are grammatically correct, because what we put out there says something about who we are.
Well, I agree we need to change the 8. Do we have any other comments on? I really don't. I mean, are we seriously going to go sentence by sentence on this? The
I'm
8
done. I'm
correct.
done. I have no more comments.
I'm
done.
just asking because we're getting
No.
into passive versus.
Well, you know what? I'm looking at this as a representation of who we are. This is a school district. We teach students. If the documents that we put out are not representative of the quality of education that we provide, then okay. You know, you have a daughter that's in an English class. She writes some kind of an essay, and part of it's in an active voice and part of it's in a passive voice. Is she going to get dinged for that? Probably.
Beth, you were the teacher. Do you have an opinion?
Well, I mean, as I compare these sentences, I just don't see any conflict. You know, the first
Fine.
paragraph, you talk about the district is located. The second paragraph, the district is noted. That next sentence, the governing board and district staff are focused. It
It's
seems
fine.
consistent
It's
to me.
fine. The only other comment I will make is in this paragraph, you've used opportunities 3 times. Perhaps there's another word we could use, so we're not using that word repeatedly.
Well, let me go back to the one thing that Are we all five of us okay, particularly with just changing the 7 to the 8? Is our 8 schools now in that first sentence?
I am. That's something that I had noticed that we just needed to make that minor change there.
Jim?
Agreed.
Beth?
Yeah,
Okay. Alright.
I just have a question. Is advanced placement, should that phrase be capitalized? Are those classes special or separate from the regular rigor like an international baccalaureate is?
Yeah, it should be. That's a business term, official name. So yeah, we need to change that to the advanced placement needs to have capitals.
Advanced placement is a, this is a question. It is a specific term for you. It's not just a process.
it is a specific term.
Yeah,
Advanced
Okay.
placement
like the AP
classes.
classes from
Yeah.
College Board. So yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Jim
Yeah.
and Janet, are we agreed on changing that to capitals since it's an actual program?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm good with whatever.
Okay. Anything else?
Madam President, I would go through this. I don't see the third one, but if I've used the word opportunity too many times, I would ask that you let me look at that and see if I can come up with something a little stronger than opportunity. I didn't notice. Oh, I see the third one. Personal opportunities, and then with opportunities. And all right, I can address those also, and I think I probably should. I hadn't noticed that.
Okay.
So far I've got, if you agree with the opportunities, I've got 8, and I've got AP capitalized. Am I correct?
And institute,
Yes, you're correct.
Janet, do you have a synonym suggestion for any of those opportunities or opportunity words
Um,
to replace?
Hang on, let me.
I know I put you on the spot, so.
Yeah, you did,
hard to-
because there's repeated words in a different
How about
paragraph, and I've got
students
words that
also
I,
have, how about students also have the ability to participate in programs authored by East Valley? So instead of that
Yeah.
last one, and students also have an opportunity to participate, say students also
Perfect.
have the, what did I just say?
The ability.
ability.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that work for you guys?
Yeah.
You just want to
that-
make that one change then?
Could we maybe change, not have one of the other opportunities to something else?
Like with what?
Hold on, I'm getting the thesaurus out.
So third opportunity is, it becomes ability.
For the first
Well,
opportunity,
how about-
choices.
How about offerings? The governing board and district staff are focused on providing students with personalized opportunity or offerings designed to develop the potential of each individual.
I like that.
Wait, say that
What-
again.
Janet, what was the word you used there instead of opportunity?
Offerings, I think is what
Offering.
I used.
Personalized offerings?
Okay. Okay, so offerings and then ability instead of, it goes offerings, opportunities, ability.
Yeah.
Anything else?
On the Cave Creek School District community, the second paragraph that starts located in central Arizona. A number of the words, a number of are used twice. So it's kind of another one of these things where it's repetitive. the home is, the community is home to a number of local activities. And then the community is within a short distance to a number of golf courses. I would make one of those several or many or something.
I think you can say a short distance to several area golf courses.
Yeah, that works.
There's a fourth opportunities too.
It's okay. Let's just. So I like several area golf courses. How's everyone feel about that?
The opportunity is in the paragraph above it. And after.
Well,
Opportunity is a word that's used a lot in this.
yeah, and when it's introducing the bullet points, the district also provides exceptional opportunities for students in the areas of blah, blah, blah.
When it comes to the word opportunities, if you'd like, just give me freelance, give me a
Yeah,
freelance
I think we need,
to
yeah.
go through and make those adjustments that you're saying. Going back to Cave Creek School District community, second paragraph, the community is within a short distance. How did you want that changed?
Oh,
Is within,
distance or close to several area, within a short distance of several area golf courses.
In close proximity to several area golf courses.
Yeah, okay. Within a short proximity? Or within proximity?
Short proximity.
How about just within proximity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within proximity.
Award-winning golf courses.
Okay. Okay, so just take out number
Yeah.
within proximity to
So it now reads within proximity to
um,
golf courses, Lake Pleasant and
several golf courses.
Outstanding golf courses, Lake
Sure.
Pleasant and
Outstanding.
Saguaro Lake.
Yeah, just say several outstanding, proximity to outstanding. Yeah,
so do I leave in the words, the community is within proximity?
yeah,
Is that how it goes?
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
at some point, it just is what it is.
Got it?
Okay.
Okay, the community is within, okay.
Anything else?
I guess just a geography question, is Bartlett Lake closer to us than Saguaro Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably change that to Bartlett instead of Saguaro.
Bartlett?
Yeah, Bartlett's technically in Scottsdale.
Bartlett.
Yeah, Bartlett.
Mhm.
So yeah, take out Saguaro, replace it with Bartlett.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, so we have a motion to approve with the changes because we've agreed that within this discussion, the 7 to 8 schools, AP is gonna be capitalized. Opportunities becomes offerings, the third opportunities becomes ability. Then with proximity to outstanding golf courses and change to Bartlett. We have a motion and a second to approve.
Ms. Hill?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
only part of the document. There's additional information in the document.
Was there more to go on past?
Was everybody okay with the operational information that was submitted by the district?
Yeah,
Any questions about that?
No,
No, that came
it's
from
pretty
finance.
comprehensive.
yeah.
We're okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, then the position requirements, I think you ought to look closely at that because those are different than what the first draft had in it. The position requirements are somewhat the same based upon what you mentioned. They were changed a little, but the governing board seeks a superintendent who, those 5 different points are entirely different than what you saw the first time.
No, I know that first one was the one that Janet suggested we add, and then we had you. I mean, I like what you added. It's what we're looking for. So.
These
I
are
think
the 5 we came up with.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. No, it looks good.
We're good with that. And then a question came in today about, well, also the salary range. I want to check on that first. That is what was stated. Everybody still
Yes.
good with that?
Yep,
Mhm.
that's what we agreed to.
Okay. And then the timeline is representative of what we talked about last time and what the board voted on last time. But again, it's part of this whole document now, with the vacancy being announced on the 21st, the deadline on the 23rd. Gives you about a month's worth of time, and then screening on Saturday the 3rd. We still don't have, and it's okay, we can wait for the screening, an exact date during the 12th. And then after the 12th, we can have an exact date on the 26th. Is that still all good, or is there conversation on that?
No, I think we covered that. We have the dates where we know the board is in and out of town. So,
Everybody still good?
On your dates for between your vacancy announced and your deadline for applications,
Yes, sir.
have we shortened that window? I mean, our deadline for applications, September 23rd, there's some school districts, i.e. superintendents, that their districts may not even be back in session yet we're going to turn off our search deadline on that day. Is that something that, with the calendar, with the way the COVID has affected everybody, is that something that maybe we should look to extend a little bit?
no school district, I mean, if they're not in person, every school district in the country is starting in some form.
Correct.
Definitely by September.
But that really wouldn't have anything to
full
do with
month,
a candidate looking for a job, I wouldn't think.
Well,
No,
that,
I don't see any, that's a full month. If people are looking for a job, they're not, I don't see why we need to extend that.
that timeline works out to just be 23 business days. And that to me, that seems like an awfully short window to what Steve had suggested and what his documents he had presented to the board back in July. You know, that timeline, a solid 4 to 6 weeks, and we've cut it down to 23 days. That just seems a little short for me.
Scott, did you say that's 23 business days?
Correct.
Okay. One of the things that I think I mentioned last time, that the business days aren't as important really as the weekends. And I think if I'm not mistaken, we have 4 solid weekends in there. And I count weekends also because that's when a lot of this work gets done. These folks generally have jobs already, and they need the weekends to fill documents out. Could this be extended? Certainly could. It's up to the board. It's what we talked about last time, but if the board agrees it isn't quite enough, then we certainly can extend it.
No, I disagree.
Have
I
an
don't
effect
think
on
it
those
is.
other dates also.
I have a question. Why is there such not willingness to even consider a longer period of time? Because this is not prime time for superintendent search placement. And as Mr. Highland had pointed out in our initial meeting, his presentation, you know, he pointed out it could take up to 6 months, and that's given an environment where everything is perfect. And we're funneling this down to a month to find a candidate when we know that the placement of selection of a superintendent is the single most important thing we do as a board. And we're going to limit ourselves to a month when this isn't even prime season for finding a superintendent. I
think
don't
it's just going to take as
understand.
long as it takes.
Well, I understand that.
14 weeks for the entire process. We didn't say 12 to 14 weeks for having the application open. His original timeline was 12 to 14 weeks.
I would like to flip that question because that question has been asked of the board since the beginning of this process. And so, and I'll give you my reasons and then I'll flip the question. People who are in the market to become a superintendent know that they are. They know that now without us even releasing that. They're not going to see our thing and say, oh yeah, I want to apply for superintendent. They already know that they want to apply for a superintendent position, I would assume. By the time from start to finish, this will have been almost a 6-month process. So I don't see this as a rush at all. We have the opening and we need to fill it. Just like with any job, when you have an opening, you fill it. We get into November and December, you're talking about holidays then. And I'm personally not interested in an interim situation, should it go that. If it goes to that and we can't, you know, if it happens that way, it happens that way. But I don't think that's best. So my question, why do you want to delay the process? You've asked us, or that it seems like we're rushing. I don't feel like we're rushing. We're trying to fill an open position. So I'll flip the question.
Okay, fair enough.
What's the delay?
I don't like the word you're using, delay. I think that, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Stall, I'll use that word.
Those are very negative words that you're using, and they imply something that I don't think is appropriate for this. This is an important process, and I think that it should be afforded the absolute most attention. And if we find somebody in a month, that's great, you know, and end of discussion. It took Scottsdale a year to hire their superintendent. And, you know, we may, and I don't want to be limited by a timeline. And, you know, things happen. You're a teacher. It's sort of a moving target. Things happen within schools, within districts, that could change the focus of any given person who could potentially be a candidate. And to say, nope, September 23rd, that's the last day, and the following Thursday, something happens where somebody who could have been a potentially amazing candidate is no longer going to be considered because we closed it on September 23rd. But along with that, I'm not saying that we should keep this open indefinitely. And something else to consider when you mentioned you're not into the idea of an interim, I don't think anybody sees that as an ideal situation. But I will share with you, I was on the board when Dr. Burdick was hired. The November before she was hired as the permanent superintendent, the board had agreed that it was not prudent for them to hire the superintendent because there was going to be new people seated on the board, and they felt that those new people would be the one working with the superintendent. So it should be those people that decide on who they're going to hire.
Well, I strongly disagree with that logic, and I had a feeling that that's where this was really going. You know, we elect presidents of the United States, whether people are ready or not. It's just not how you do business. You don't do business waiting for new hires to come on. That's not good business practice. We have an opening. So good business practice is to fill the opening.
I
wait around
understand
for an
that.
election of a new board.
I understand that. The people who are going to be working with this superintendent should have the opportunity to have some sort of say.
Okay,
No,
now
they
you're talking
shouldn't,
about
Hannah. They're not even elected
Okay,
yet.
here's what we're gonna do.
That's not
You
even
know what,
possible.
This
you know
is
what?
on the point. Do we want to move the timeline? I say no. Member Brown, do you want to change the timeline? Just before we even talk dates. I do not want to. Member Brown.
Yes, I would like to change the timeline.
Okay, Member Busby,
Yes.
Hatcher,
No,
Rich.
No.
Okay, moving on. Mr. Highland, do we have anything? I know you changed from Maricopa for the other to Maricopa. Is there anything in the additional information?
The only additional information that we have is that I don't believe we had all the websites listed at that time, but we do now. Oh, I think there was something where we had Coconino County or something rather than Maricopa County.
Thank you, Maricopa.
That was changed. And also it now states that it is District 93 instead of whatever we had before. In one instance, I had something different than that. That was just my wonderful typing skills. I would like to go back to the beginning though, because there was a lot there if we may for just a moment, make sure I have it.
Okay,
What I have is that we're going to divide the first sentence into 2 sentences, which is same information.
actually, we decided just to let that go. 4 of us just said to let that go.
We're going to let that go. Is what
Mhm,
I'm hearing now? Okay.
mhm. We're just, the first thing we start with is the 7 to 8 schools.
Was there there was one concern. Were there other concerns about that second comma? I can go either way with that on and.
It's fine. I think we just decided it was fine.
It's 8 schools rather than 7.
Mhm.
Let me see here. The district is noted for strong commitment to schools serving 8 schools. You said to leave. I didn't hear anybody say, well, I heard one person say change it
To personalized offering.
active versus not.
No, it's,
Also in that, we've got 3 opportunities and I'm going to adjust those. I'm a little concerned about the word ability because ability indicates also the opposite would be not having the ability. And I don't
okay,
put students in that position, but I think what I said later on when we're looking at the next page, if you just give me freelance opportunity to go back and change those words a little,
Okay.
I think that might be better.
okay,
And then we've already corrected the institute. It now says it's now capitalized, so that's already done. There wasn't any changes in the belief statement. On the next, under community, I'm going to work on opportunity again. We're going to talk about proximity rather than, the community is within proximity to outstanding golf courses. We're going to change Bartlett or Saguaro Lake to Bartlett Lake. Those are the main things there. That is all I have. Am I correct?
yes.
Steve, did you have you were going to capitalize advanced placement in that first page, second
Yes,
paragraph?
I do have that also, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve with the changes that Mr. Highland just presented. Member Brown,
Aye.
Busby,
Aye.
Hatcher,
I,
I'm an aye, Rich.
Aye.
Item 4.2, approval of a district-specific question to be added to the application for a new superintendent. Let me scroll down. Of course, Mr. Highland, this was something that it was the, just for everyone that's watching, we saw last time, there was a question at the end and we wanted to put in a new one. And member Rich suggested a question about COVID that we all thought would be good. And we asked Mr. Highland to write something for us, which I think looks great. Mr. Highland, would you like to go over it?
Yes, what I tried to do in the question is give enough information that it prompted some deep thought, but also leave it open. That's why I said also include at the end, also include what efforts would be in place to maintain a safe environment. It puts the question in my mind, puts it on incumbent upon the applicant to address what they would have done to get you where you are today, getting ready for school. It also addresses how you're going to carry out your application throughout the entire process, the application of your plan. It also includes where are the students, where's the staff, where's the community, where's the governing board in this in terms of responsibilities. So I opened up the door a little bit, but I didn't want to answer the question. So I stopped short of going any further. And again, left it at 500 words. It's a heavy task to get this done in 500 words, but I think the key is you want to be able to see how precise a person can be in their writing. You want to see how well the writing is projected, and you want to see if the ideas are solid. Plus you want to see a short-term and long-term resolve, and all of that is wrapped up here. I really don't want to say a whole lot more because I don't want to give away the answer, so to speak. And there is no absolute answer, but I think enough ideas are presented that a quality candidate should be able to give you a quality answer.
No, I think it looks really good. My recommendation is that the board approve the requested question as presented.
Second, Brown.
I'm sorry, Scott, what did you say? You
Oh, I
kinda-
second your motion.
Okay, who was the first?
I
I'll
think
make
I
the
was.
motion.
Okay,
If
any
nobody did.
discussion? I think that looks really good. I like what you said, Steve. I mean, we don't want to answer it for them. So it's a big question, but it, you know, if you go into too much detail, then they're like, sure, I agree with everything you just told me. So I like it. I think it's really, I mean, it covers a lot of ground. But
Yeah,
I think it's really good.
I agree. It's really good because this, as education rolls out for the fall, we're beginning to see the reactions of the public, the reactions of parents, the reactions of the educators. So it's not an easy problem by any means, and I don't think it's going to end. I think we're going to be wrestling with this year. So that's what you added on the end is excellent.
I agree.
Okay, well, we have a motion and a second to approve as presented. Member Rich,
Aye.
I'm an aye. Hatcher,
I
Busby,
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Okay. Well, we're at the end. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Okay. Member Brown,
Aye.
Busby,
Aye.
Hatcher,
I
I'm an aye. Rich.
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned.